Hi guys, welcome to the Queen of TV channel. Now, let's get into a quick thing before we get into our intro. First and foremost, there will be cursing and profanity. If that's not your cup of tea, this channel is not for you. And lastly, this is a re-upload. I had already recorded this yesterday and had it come out at 9 a.m. this morning, except for some reason my camera somehow messed up and ended up only recording 6 minutes and a few seconds of the video. So it cut out the parts about Emma and Rikki, and also only went up to the second thing that I was talking about that was concerning Cleo, and then just shut off after that. So I did not realize that until I went to go check my uploads, put in descriptions, and then I saw that it said like 6 minutes and a few seconds. So I will be redoing it. Now let's get into our intro. Welcome everyone. I'm your host, the Queen herself, and you are the Prince of Princesses. You are a subscriber or you are a viewer. Either way, welcome. Today we're going to talk about 15 reasons that I think are why people hate Cleo, Emma, and Rikki. Now, of course, I did not add Lewis into this. And obviously we're not doing 63, so I have not done Bella. So I will save Lewis and Bella for season 3. So right now we're just going to talk about Cleo, Emma, and Rikki. And first we're going to start off with Cleo. Now each girl has 5 reasons, which obviously equals up to 15. So let me know in the comments if these are correct. These are why you hate the girls, or do you have your own reasons to dislike the girls? If you don't dislike the girls, explain to me in the comments why you find all these reasons I listed either valid and people are wrong for thinking this way, or if you think that these are not the reasons why people hate them, then go ahead and comment what reasons you think that there are or what you know of, and explain why you think that's utterly ridiculous or correct. So start off with Cleo. At number 1 is that Cleo read Charlotte's diary. Ever since season 2, episode 3, Cleo has been public enemy number 1, and a lot of fans kind of jump mostly on Cleo and not really Charlotte. So if anybody tries to call Charlotte out for any wrongdoings, there are some people that deflect and bring up something that Cleo had done, or this would be the one thing that they bring up about Cleo, because I guess her reading somebody's journal means that she is a heartless, evil individual. The second thing is that she broke up with Lewis. So that whole thing with the breakup, a lot of people took that out of context and kind of ignored how Cleo was feeling and probably why she was making such a decision like that. Everyone thought that she was just being selfish and Lewis was trying to help, when in reality Lewis was being controlling and Cleo was going through a state of depression due to her parents' divorce. Also, a lot of people took out her words out of context by thinking that she meant that Lewis was not truly a part of the group and had to be a merman to do so. She was saying that since Lewis was not a merman, he did not understand what the girls were feeling and thinking 24/7 and how difficult it was for them, because he assumed that he could fix everything. The third thing is that Cleo has jealousy issues. Her showing signs of jealousy, people will roll their eyes at it. They would think it's ridiculous. They would always say that, oh, she broke up with Lewis first. She ain't got no right to be jealous, despite the fact that Lewis has shown to be jealous in the show, and Charlotte acts jealous of Cleo and Lewis's relationship when her and Lewis are not even together, while she's actively pursuing him, despite the fact that he's refused her multiple times. But that's the third reason. Now, the fourth reason is that she doesn't like or acts that she doesn't need Lewis's help. This means that Cleo and the girls have, by season 2, gained some sort of independence and want to try to deal with the full moon themselves because they've been going at it for like months now and what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do, and how the situation's supposed to be handled. But a lot of people feel that the girls don't really know how to do anything without Lewis and act like they don't need his help when they do. So it kind of rubs people the wrong way that the girls have a sense of independence instead of begging for Lewis's help and being completely and utterly like, in a way, kissing his ass for even helping them, even though like you can show appreciation to your friends for helping you without having to say you appreciate them 24/7. But I guess everybody doesn't like the fact that the girls didn't get a chance to figure it out. They expect them to harp on Lewis constantly instead of letting Lewis try to live his own life outside the mermaid stuff. And the fifth thing is that Cleo has emotional issues. Cleo acts and thinks by her emotions. So sometimes she makes mistakes when she's upset, but when she's emotionally stable and well put together, she's able to express herself in a more positive, healthy way. And obviously, this rubs people the wrong way because some people think the reason why she's so like jealous and why she's so overly like sensitive to seeing Lewis with Charlotte so much is because she's an emotional person. Like I think somebody had commented one time that they think Cleo might have been a Pisces because they don't know how to express their emotions properly. So that's a problem for people as well. So let's move on to Emma. The first thing with Emma is that she's bossy or controlling. People feel like she tends to want to um, do things in a way where, what's the word for it? She expects everything to just work in a tight, neat bow. That things should be perfect or something like that, and she tends to get bossy. And there's a lot of people that just does not like Emma, and this is one of the reasons. The second one is the same as Cleo a little bit, is that she doesn't like asking Lewis for help either and acts like they have everything covered. Now, people hate all three of the girls for that matter, so I just might as well throw that in. It's also under Ricky's that people have a problem with the girls not wanting Lewis help and having him codependent on them and them being somewhat independent and trying to figure out their mermaid stuff by themselves without constantly having to ask Lewis for help. The third thing, people don't like Emma most of the time because of her fights with Rikki. That's a part of it. This is also the same for Rikki. There are some people that don't like Ricky's behavior towards Emma. Or at least they don't like the behavior where Rikki tends to just be insensitive, like having to see her and Emma always bicker. So it's like back and forth. There are people that might be mad at Emma at one point when they're bickering, or they might be angry at Rikki. And the same thing can be said for like Rikki and Cleo, them bickering as well. So that's also a reason why they don't like Emma. At number four, she's an overachiever. Like Emma is like a not a pick me girl, not a Gigi. She's more like a smart girl. She's book smart. She cares about her grades. She is good at everything. She tries to be good at everything. She pretends that she's a know-it-all. Like she's an overachiever, and a lot of people don't like that because it could be seen as she's being overly confident. And she's criticized for being a perfectionist. At the same time, at number five, another reason why people don't like Emma is because they don't care for her love life. There have been people who have complained. At one point, I didn't like her relationships, but after a while, after seeing the show so many times and actually analyzing it and looking at the relationships and sitting on it to see what it looks like compared to one another, I prefer her with Ash because I feel like they are way more compatible. While everyone else do not care about Byron and Emma's relationship, as it really didn't go anywhere. And then there's Ash. Like, a lot of people don't like Ash and would prefer Emma with Byron, so they don't really ship her with Ash either. So it makes it hard for people to actually like her. But at the same time, I don't think a lot of people actually sit down and think about the relationships like in full fledged view. But let's move on to Rikki now. And number one, Rikki doesn't like Charlotte, aka Rikki is harsh on Charlotte. Now, I totally understand why Rikki is this way, why she's harsh on Charlotte, why she feels the way that she does towards her. But there are a few people that do not like the girls for different reasons, and they probably do not like Rikki for not liking Charlotte, even though we know for a fact that everything that Charlotte does towards Cleo and the stuff that's going on with Lewis, obviously some Ricky's being told this information. So Rikki has a good idea what kind of person that Charlotte is. So of course she's not going to like be friends with the girls that treat her friends like crap and causes issue between her ex and her, and affect their friend dynamic and constantly insult them every chance she gets. Then that brings us to the second reason people do not like Rikki for how tough she is on Lewis. Um, like I said, that can also fit with the fact that she also doesn't ask Lewis for help or thinks that she has everything covered. So people might feel that Rikki is like overly harsh on Lewis. She's bullying him, everything else. I think what it is people do not understand the dynamics of their friendship and how they're more of a frenemies than actual friends. And that it's not that they hate each other, but they like having each other get pissed off, and they like cracking jokes and fucking around one another, not really like taking anything each other does that serious. And they do have some things in common. They do like the same music, and we do know that there are times where when Ricky's hard on Lewis, it's because he involves someone else or someone that he knows has the tendency to cause them problems. So she kind of reminds him that, hey, Lewis, this is technically your fault because he's associated with a said person, whether that be Dr. Denham or Charlotte. On top of that, Rikki didn't like the whole testing on a subject thing. So that played a part into it as well. So as a result, a lot of people detest that Rikki might generally just are mean to Lewis out of nowhere, but in reality, Lewis and Rikki do it to each other. That's just like their friendship love language. There are some people that may have that type of behavior in their friendships, and there's a lot of people that don't, so that's why they have that specific reaction. Um, Number three, she's too honest, aka mean. A lot of people don't like people who are very overly honest and confident and blunt with people, but that's just who Rikki is. That's how Rikki speaks. That's how Rikki walks and talks. So, and I do appreciate that by Rikki as much as I try to get Rikki to understand, I can't talk to the character, but at least in the words, I'll be on her case about things that she thinks and feels and stuff. But at least with her, I have a level of respect because she's an honest person. She's not fake with you. She's not like withdrawing any information. She's being fair. She's being blunt, and she treats everybody the same way. So at least she isn't being a fake person. And it is just who she is. It's just her overall personality. It's not anything she can change. That could either be how she was brought up or how she views the world is why she is the way that she is. That brings us to the fourth one, which, like I said, fighting with Emma. Like I said, between her and Emma, sometimes when they do fight or they get into arguments, certain people pick sides, whether it's Emma or whether it's Rikki, or they're on neither side or they're on both sides. And it's the same thing if like Emma and Rikki got into a fight with Cleo. Now at number 5, she does things that are selfish or stupid that she hides from the other girls. Like things like her and Zane, like getting back together and her and Zane dating can be used as stupid and selfish, especially when she told the girls that she was only gonna tell them when they were mature enough to handle it. Also that whole thing in episode 9 with the whole fish guy and everything. And then, the whole thing with Dr. Denham and sometimes like accusatory behavior towards people. Like when they thought that Lewis sided with Dr. Denham. Um, and then I'm guessing like people think she's selfish with not wanting Charlotte a part of the group, so that plays in with the not liking Charlotte thing. But like I said, that's just who Rikki is. And Rikki's not completely selfish. She doesn't do things that wants to hurt people or deceive them. Uh, she treats people the way that they treat her and her friends and family. She also like has a level of integrity and respect and honesty. And I feel like that when she's put in the position of having to defend herself, she reacts with um complete and utter like I'm not taking no bullshit. I'm standing up for myself. And it might come off as mean and selfish or at least in this case stupid because Ricky's not gonna kiss nobody's ass. That's just the honest truth. Now, I know I said I was gonna wait till season 3, but I'm gonna go ahead and use Lewis as an honorable mention. Um I think with Lewis there's like 10 reasons why people don't like him, so I'm only gonna give you half. So the first thing that people do not like about Lewis is that Lewis is too heavily focused on helping the girls, and not really focusing on himself, especially when people feel like that they don't fully appreciate him. So there may or may not be people that dislike Lewis for that reason. Second, the second reason why I think that people don't like Lewis, or at least have a problem with Lewis, is that he refuses to move on from Cleo and date someone else. That might be the biggest thing. Some people just feel like he should have moved on and picked someone else, but he wanted Cleo, so that's who he went for. The third reason why people might have a problem with him is that people might think that Lewis has like he gaslights Charlotte, even though she's the one that's gaslighting him. But some people feel like he gaslit Charlotte a lot of times when explaining why he was always hanging out with the girls. So that's another one. The fourth one is that people feel like he led Charlotte on, even though he told her multiple times that he only saw them as friends and didn't want anything emotional with her. So those two things. And last but not least, they don't like the fact that the show didn't do anything different with his character. If you really think about it, Lewis is like the same Lewis since season 1, except with little bits of difference. Lewis is a pacifist now, so he would never like get into a fight with anybody. Also, Lewis has a new haircut. Lewis has a new clothing style. Lewis does not wear his glasses so much. And also, Lewis is just himself. So there's no different characterization in there, and they literally have him doing the same stuff he's doing in season 1 until season 3, because by season 3 he knew how to play the drums and he could play golf. But those would be like the 5 things that I think would be an honorable mention as to why people would not like Lewis. But let me know what you think in the comments about Cleo, Emma, Rikki, and Lewis. Did I get any of those right? Or do you have 5 of your own? Or which ones that you consider the actual main reason, regardless of what the other 4 say? And I will see you guys tomorrow. So you have a blessed day. You have a wonderful day. And if no one has told you this today, I'm telling you, I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.